Big up, big up, big up, and welcome to Liberal 12th Man Show. Welcome back to another jam-packed edition, hopefully for every one of you Reds out there that are joining us or that will be joining us soon enough. We've got JK and Alante with us today on the panel, and we're going to talk about the weekend in review, basically. The Premier League is officially underway. We've already seen drama, controversy, plenty of talking points across the league. Whichever game you want to talk about, pretty much there's something to get into. But before we do, let's dive in. Before we dive into the action, please do smash that like button. I know there's only a few of you in the chat, but be sure to remind those that when they enter the door, they simply hit that like button, and then they can find their seat, put their feet up, and just enjoy the rest of the show. I am excited about some of what went down this weekend because we got a little bit of insight as to where and who's going to be real contenders, or where some teams are going to really make some traction in this year. There were some things that definitely were worth noting, though, and that's like there were some rule changes, that were made, and I really didn't hear many people talk about it. Like, as in a lot of times, most of the shows are just all about transfer this and this, transfer that, and drama and news and rumors. But there have been some rule changes like every year. There's some rule changes, and so before we get stuck into some of the Liverpool stuff and the weekend fixtures, let's talk about something that again, hasn't gotten really that much attention. And that's starting this season, for instance, goalkeepers are now prohibited from holding the ball for more than 8 seconds. That's going to be big because quite often, we've watched some of the most notable and most egregious when it comes to, how can we even say egregious, to testing the envelope or testing the boundaries of how long you're going to be able to hold on to the ball for, like your Pickfords out there. What's going to happen now if they do so? It's not an indirect free kick anymore. It's a corner kick. So that's actually pretty. So it'll be a corner kick to the opposition, which is a massive shift, especially for keepers who like to take their time, especially late in games. You're not going to be wanting to do that and give up possible corner kicks to other teams. I think that's going to be a big change. Another big update is VAR communication. Referees will now announce VAR decisions over the stadium loudspeaker. Finally, a bit of transparency, we can call it that, for fans in the stands. Some could say it's about time. Others would say, you know what, it's just a little bit too little. It's too little, too late. VAR has already gone down the road of contempt with a lot of us already. And the final thing is only team captains can now approach referees about major decisions. I know that was already technically a rule already, but now they're going to emphasize that to the point where you're not allowed to swarm or crowd the referee anymore, which honestly should cut down on wasting time, because sometimes when you do see a referee getting surrounded by, 2, 3, 4, maybe even more than that, members of whatever team thinks they've been done wrong, it ends up taking a while to sort everything out and settle everyone down. Now, if the only way you're going to get something accomplished or get something worked out is by your captains, then maybe we can speed up a little bit of the time there and make some things happen. But big picture, FIFA are still testing out even larger expansions of VAR, which should be very interesting because they potentially want to evolve it into helping, if not having a say in yellow cards. Yellow cards are normally not something or not normally, but they're not something VAR can get involved in. Howard Webb has been cautious. He says less is more is how he references it. But I think that how about anything with substance should be relevant, considering what we had happened to us over the weekend. But it's clear the game is still evolving. I'll ask the panel: Do these changes make the game more transparent and fair, or do you think they risk slowing the game down even further? Like, what are your thoughts on some of these game changes? JK, you can go up first.
Like for me, bro, football, if it's not broke, no need to fix it, you know. Every year there's something new. It's taking the rip now, you know. It's like they're ruining football, you know. I think it's been a plan since a long time. They want to ruin everything that humans love, film industry, music industry. And I said, football's next on the agenda. And I've seen it, bro. Over the years, over the last 15 years, the amount of new rules, it's a joke. You know, like having bloody blue cards. You might as well get all the rainbow colours in there. For a card, he spoke too loud. You get this card for that, or he did this, you get this card for that. It's a bloody joke. Keep it red, keep it yellow, simple, you know.
We haven't gotten to the blue cards just yet, but I mean, like, yeah, we'll see.
That's what I mean about blue cards. What is that? Is it Man City and Everton? They were jealous they didn't have a card.
They didn't have a color yet to represent. Maybe that was it.
That's it.
Maybe that was it. Halftime interviews. The game's gone. Yeah. Yeah, there is. It is unique when you see that kind of stuff. Halftime interviews. You know, now they're trying to like, yeah.
Bro, I seen that today. It hurt my soul. Hurt my soul. I seen that Odegaard giving a little speech at halftime. I said, bloody hell, what the hell is he doing there?
Yeah, yeah.
Bro, he did my head in.
I wouldn't
get rid of that.
I wouldn't be surprised if you started to get interviews with coaches during the game.
That's gonna come.
It's going to happen.
Everything is a gateway. Everything is a gateway for something else. When one door opens, another 10 open.
They do it. I'm just trying to, you know, they do it in the NBA where, you know, during like, it'll be weird. It'd be like, you'll see the coach being interviewed and there's like the game is going on in the background. You're like,
no, for me, the coach,
the game? Shouldn't you be like,
the coach is thinking like he's giving an interview and he's like, fuck, if I don't get this result, I'm going to lose my job and my mortgage and my woman. You know, he starts crying during an interview. He's like, come on, man, what are these people doing? Leave the sports to the sports. When they get final whistle blows, you can talk how much you want.
I think too, what they're trying to say about expanding it to include yellow cards. One of the kickbacks from yesterday was that if the red, or for Friday, if that wasn't a red card offense, which it was, let's just be honest, it was a outright red card offense. Pretty much any and every person that saw that, whether there's former officials, pundits, obviously us, the fans, we all thought it was, and obviously the players too thought it was a red card. Even the player that did the foul knew that it was a red card. How it was turned into being a free kick for Bournemouth, that just underlines how pathetic the PGMOL are with some of their officiating. Right. But
comedy.
It is straight comedy. But what was unique about it is that because if you're not going to say it's a red card, then it becomes a yellow card. Obviously, you're obviously going to give a yellow card or some type of card infraction for the foul, because it would be a handball. And if that's the case, VAR technically can't say to the referee, I think you should look at this for a yellow card, only if you think it's a red card. And I think if anything, they dropped the ball by not allowing for the referee to at least go to the monitor and just interpretate it himself to say, yes, that's a red card offense, or no, it's not a red card offense, and keep it moving. I don't think that the game would have been any more, taken aback by the fluidity of it all if we had just gotten through that little piece of it. Especially considering that we had to stop because of some stupid fan intrusion of a player. But it was pretty silly. I just think it was pretty silly. Well, let's begin this conversation. I see some are saying, let's see something. I think they're talking about AR was saying we haven't resolved Anthony Taylor and people using VAR properly. This was a red card and send off this was a red card and should have been a sending off to that Bournemouth player. Ekitiké was through on goal. Yes, he was. But I mean, like, again, it's a matter of Howard Webb's statement, I think, being the underlining precedent of what they want to do, which is they want to have VAR. They want to keep things like as in there were a lot of times last year and the year before that they would go to VAR and VAR would take like a long time to process what it was that they're trying to figure out. And it's because they're trying to make sure that they get the call right, which they should. I'm not harping on that. But if it's going to take you, sometimes it looked like, for instance, I'm trying to think of what game it was. I think I wanted to say it was Arsenal, but I was like, there was a time when we were playing the game and it seemed like they went through 2 or 3 different like calls or looking to see if they could get 2 or 3 different types of calls against us. And it was almost as if they were searching for a reason to not give us the goal, you know? And it was one of those cases where you're just like, geez, man, like it's one thing for you to go through and say, okay, yes, nothing there, cool. But then they went to another angle to try to see if it was another thing. And then they went to another angle. Then they were wound the tape even further, like 2, 3 different, it looked like 2, 3 different phases of play before the play even happened. Sometimes it's a little bit too much. But let's get into what the main topic of what the thumbnail read. You know, Chiesa saves Reds, Reijnders Masterclass, SetPiece FC for a 1-0 win. A lot that went down this weekend. A whole lot went down. 25-26 Premier League season kicked off with a bang. Let's just run through the major headlines before we get into the details, basically. The key story recap basically was Arsenal win 1-0 at Old Toilet, thanks to Calafiori. A header that was going in anyway, but he ended up making sure that it did. Spurs, Thomas Frank era begins with a strong declaration of 3-0 and bounce back from their 2-2 debacle in the Super Cup. Liverpool, our beloved Reds, began our title defense against Bournemouth and had a obviously amazing comeback. Injuries already hitting. There's injuries that City are dealing with, injuries that United are dealing with, injuries that even Liverpool ourselves are dealing with. And promoted clubs officially back in the league, trying to make statements. One of those clubs will be playing tomorrow against Everton. They have a home opener against them. That's a good one, Red. Red Archer supporter. He should be an editor for a newspaper or something. If you need when you need the catchy bylines or you need the catchy titles, that's a good one. Hotel Calafiori. That's a good one. And then obviously there's other games that did go down this weekend. We'll get right into them right now. Let's just break down basically what we had to go through. Let's begin with, let's start with Arsenal Man United. Let's start with Arsenal Man United and decide which one we're going to go to. This game obviously was the last game of the weekend. Technically, Leeds and Everton is on Monday, so I'm not considering it part of the weekend, but that would be the last game of Matchday 1. But Arsenal versus Manchester United, Calafiori pounced on a corner kick. You know what's sad about this, though? I don't know if you felt this way or not in the chat, and especially on the panel, too. What was really, really sad, because I was watching this game live, as soon as they got the corner kick, because they had been back and forth, the game had been, primarily Manchester United more so than Arsenal having control of the narrative. But as soon as they lined up for the first, I think it was the first corner kick of the game, I said to myself, here comes a goal. And sure enough, they got their goal. Poor defending by their goalkeeper. United's new signings failed to impress, to say the least. They didn't get, Cunha had a real opportunity to score a goal, didn't, just basically kicked it right into the goalkeeper's hands. Bournemouth had a real opportunity to head a ball in for a goal, didn't do much, played it right into the keeper's hands as well by heading it down, and by hitting the ground and bouncing up, it basically took a lot of the velocity off of the header. Cunha played okay. I'm not saying he played poorly, but you were looking at some bigger results. I think one of the most notable things about the United attack or United team was that United A did not have Haaland on their roster. That was notable, like as in basically the writing's on the wall. I think that he's going to be out, obviously, as a Manchester United player. And the other was the fact that Onana wasn't available because of a hamstring injury, I think he has. Yet, even if it was Onana, United have some serious issues when it comes to whoever's holding it down for them in their goalkeeper position. So I think Bournemouth does look like man like Matt, by the way, from Coppish. It's a good shout. That is a good shout. Looking like Brock Lesnar. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I mean, Arsenal are going to have to figure out a way to incorporate Gyökeres into their offensive schemes. I really don't think they look lackluster, to be honest with you, on today. I know I can say that because if you look at the numbers, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but if you do look at the numbers, I remember that they have been out. Manchester United had more possession of the ball. Practically 2/3 of the ball was held on by Manchester United. They had more passes. They had 2, if not 3 more. It had like about, I think Arsenal had like 9 shots, and I want to say that United had about 20 shots or something like that. So they outshot them by more than twice the number. I'm very intrigued as to what is going to evolve with United. And, seeing that they're going with this back three, they've completely devoted themselves to playing in the back three. Arsenal looks solid defensively, offensively, different story. What were your thoughts about the game, JK? Did you have anything that you thought about the game that stood out for you?
Like, United look better than they have normally have for the last few years. They just look better, you know what I mean? Arsenal not great as well. It was an okay game. It wasn't a great game. You know what I mean? Over the years, we've had some great Arsenal United games. It wasn't a great game. Gyökeres not great on his debut and stuff. I think Cunha sort of played pretty well. He did some great runs, you know what I mean? And for me, he was the only one likely to do anything for United. And Mbeumo, he wasn't great. It was mad to see Mason Mount sign. You know what I mean? That was a bit of a weird one.
I know. Didn't that blow? That blew my mind when I saw that. I was just like,
what's going on? Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute. Maybe that's a misprint.
No.
Mason Mount starting at the striker. Mm-hmm. That
Yeah, I
really,
understand it. Yeah.
I didn't understand it at all. I was just like, I saw that and I'm just like, you spent all this money to bring in this, this player that is supposed to be now your main threat. You don't bring on you leave Haaland off of the roster. You could have started Haaland in this game. And I admit Mason Mount was not a wash in this game. Marque, you're correct. He had a really good defensive stab against Saka. Actually, Saka was about to be one-on-one. He had it on the wing, and he was able to basically he saw Mason Mount. He's like, "Oh, I'm about to have some fun," and Mason Mount ended up taking the ball away, knocking the ball out. But and I get that Haaland might be on his way to AC Milan. I know that still apparently still has to be finalized. It's not completed just yet. But the point of why I was bringing up the Mount thing is because and even the Haaland thing is because, okay, even if you are trying to keep Haaland fit and clear of being injured so you can make the transfer happen, okay, fine. However, you also had what's the boy's name? Gives him a Z. Is it Zakara? Xerxes, right? Xerxes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes, Xerxes on the bench. And why do I know that? Because he's sitting right next to Sesko on the bench. He could have started if you wanted to bring in something of at least some familiarity of being a striker for this club. But yet he's on the bench right next to Sesko. So that's why I thought it was kind of interesting to see Mason Mount start the game. Again, to Trudon and also to Marque's point, Mason Mount wasn't a negative in this game in the sense of he wasn't an eyesore or something like that, but it was just a tactical decision that made you go, maybe Mason Mount would have been a little bit better served if he was playing in the midfield as opposed to trying to lead the attack. That's what I'm trying to get at. I then would go to, let's see, which game should we go to next? Let's do Man City versus Wolves. Very, very emotion-packed game, obviously for obvious reasons. They have a very big connection to Jota as well. It was his first team that he played with in the Premier League, actually. So, but from this game, despite that, two players that actually saved my weekend for my fantasy football team, because without these two players, I'd be completely in the mud. Haaland with the brace. And I would say, if anything, the player that stood out in this game more than anything in Man City, Reijnders. He was pretty stunning in his debut. What'd you think, JK? Go ahead.
Yeah. For me, I think I watched Reijnders play for Milan. I think he was good, but I was like, no, not at Liverpool. But the way he sort of shone in that pre-season and that for City, it looked like he settled in pretty well.
Do you think
City
that
yesterday?
so?
Good result for them.
Let me ask the chat then. That's a good question, or at least good question. I think that JK kind of raises. Would you have taken Reijnders as a player for this team? Would you have been interested to see Reijnders be a part of the club, part of the Liverpool club?
Look, the fee weren't massive.
It says yes. Okay.
Like the fee wasn't massive.
I'll play pretty decent too. Go ahead.
Yeah. The fee wasn't massive. He's Dutch, so he would have settled in with the other lads. Yeah. It was a bit of a gamble for me, but it looks like he's going to settle in. Fair play. Yeah, Foden. God knows what Foden's been up to in the last years. One player of the season. Ain't seen him since.
Yeah. How about for you? How about for you, Nancy? Welcome to the show, by the way.
Welcome, Nancy.
Mhm.
Yeah, all good again, boys. Yeah, like I said, you're talking about Foden, yeah?
Yes.
Foden and
We're not
Reijnders, yeah.
Foden. We were talking about Reijnders actually as being possible. Would you have taken him at the club, for instance? Do you think that he could have fit into Liverpool as well?
Yeah, evening, Jimmy. Evening, Jimmy. I mean, possibly, but I wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he could play, but I think we're good with what we have. To be honest, some players are meant to be fit for other teams, and yeah, sure, he could do a job. I mean, definitely, but I wouldn't have him starting over any of our midfielder when fully fit. I
Mhm.
wouldn't have it over a Grab. I would have a Mac, and it's not because I know it's easy to say he won the league, but as players, I just think they're just quality players. And in my opinion, people might disagree. Better for me, but look, nothing surprises me. City were always going to be back. So I mean, what they done is not a surprise to me. And I was speaking to this with a group of friends in the chat. I believe it'll be back to the usual Liverpool versus Man City, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I that's what I think it will be this season. Chelsea could, well, less likely Chelsea. I think they get too much overhyped from certain parts of the media and certain people going on pre-season or João Pedro and PSG. The cup. I mean, don't get me wrong. Congrats on PSG, but they caught them on an off day, which can happen. And then they beat AC Milan, and look what's happened today. Now it's a dual 0-0. So it
I don't
just
even
goes
know.
to show.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
I hear
Premier.
we're just saying on off day, but PSG, considering that Spurs put them to the sword as well for a little bit. Yeah, I don't know if it was an off day.
Yeah,
Maybe PSG
no.
caught lightning in a bottle for that run in the Champions League, and now they've kind of simmered back to their level.
I mean, it depends what you look at, maybe. But again, you have to think they've played X amount of games, and then this whole Club World Cup farcical, which was nonsense. Like one of our great managers, Jurgen Klopp said, and that idiot Sky supporter, I forgot his name, Carvajal, Cabell, or Snake, whatever his name is, said, "Oh, why is Jurgen Klopp moaning? Put a sock in it, dude. You ain't even manage the team. You just stand there, just get reports from sources. You know what I mean?" But yeah, I mean, look, they caught PSG on the off day, and it can happen. This is football. We've all been, look what Newcastle did to us. It can happen. Carabao Cup final, it can happen. That's just football. Not every day is going to be a great day. And obviously, Spurs, a bit lucky, but then again, they've only came back because they've had to have the break. Because again, that World Cup. But I mean, Brian is a good player, but I'm happy. But I think it will just be back to Liverpool City. Chelsea, not for me. And I think Arsenal, the second again, ole, ole. Second again will be ole, ole. Third.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, there you have it. And good evening, Jimmy, as well, by the way.
Yeah,
That's
big up, Jimmy. Big up to everyone
No,
joining
please,
us.
Jimmy, up.
Dustin.
Dustin.
My team's name is the one that has the proclamation in it. It is 12th to 1st. So there you go. That's my team name on our FPL league.
What we can do a show every week just to round up the show, the league, tell people what's happening. We can do that on Tuesday, maybe.
Yeah. That'll be your responsibility though, because you're the commissioner. So just remember that, JK.
I'm the commissioner.
Yeah, that's
it.
It's a big name. I know, big title.
Exactly. Use that
the other thing, 12th is Man City FC. Is there a Man City in our league this year?
I just want to say that you got their players in your team, ain't you?
No, I've got 3 Liverpool players too. I have 3 Liverpool players.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Man City, I would have screwed if it wasn't for the Man City players. To be honest with you.
You'd be on -2 or something.
I would have been negative something. Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Definitely.
12. Would you like to? Can you reveal your players, Liverpool players? Is that
Yeah. I think
hidden
you can,
agenda?
because you can
Yeah.
see everyone's team. It's not a
No, I'm just
secret.
saying you. I don't know. I don't know. Because I'm not on the fantasy football
Yeah,
thing.
my
Who's
team.
your 3 Liverpool players?
My 3 Liverpool players are Ali.
Mm-hmm. Oh, damn.
No, you've got 0 Liverpool players. 12. No, I've got Ali's my goalkeeper. VVD is in my defense, and I've got Wirtz in the midfield.
Oh,
Well,
okay, interesting. Okay,
Yeah,
guess
they
who I've
got
got?
they got all of 6 points between the 3 of them. Like they got one. Ali got 1 point. VVD got 2 points, and Wirtz got 3 points. So it was not a good weekend. As opposed to, I have Haaland. I captained Haaland, luckily, and Haaland got 26 points. So I mean, like, he goes to show you, yeah.
Bro, I went with Frimpong as my Liverpool 3. Frimpong, Salah, Wirtz.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
interesting.
Good players,
Yes.
yeah. You got lucky because you captained Salah, I think. But
Yeah.
Triple captain. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, got his doubles.
Yeah.
No, triple, bro. I triple captains a lot.
Oh, triple, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
fair. But it looks like getting the same points as 12. Yes, Captain Mo stepped up in the last minute.
You got a captain, Mo. You know what I mean, bro?
Yeah.
And that's the thing about it, Mark A. You're right about that. Week 2 might have a couple of changes going on with my team. Because yeah.
What's that one way you can do loads of transfers without it affecting your points? There's a token.
Yeah, there is a token that you could do it. Yeah.
What's it called, bro?
I don't know off the top of my head.
You're gonna use yours this next weekend.
Yeah, to get all my players out. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll do a piecemeal though.
Wild card, I think.
Yeah, Liverpool defenders probably won't get that many clean sheets. That's certainly true.
Oh, yeah. We hope not. We hope that changes.
Yeah, I hope that changes because I mean I have Ali as my goalkeeper, so that doesn't help me either. But anyway.
Oh damn.
Yeah. I know. Don't be too. I know we can't be too knee jerky with the reactions to week 1. Week 1 is just that, week 1. Because considering if we look at week 1 and we think that it's a reflection of how and what we're going to see, Sunderland, yes, the team that now has our former captain a part of their squad, came in and got a 3-0 win over West Ham. I thought that was probably the surprise of the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you guys, but I thought that was a surprise of the weekend.
Yeah, that was
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, it was. I mean, surprise a draw, but yeah, 3-0. Yeah. Beat down for West Ham. Yeah.
I get it. Sunderland was I get that Sunderland was at home, but yeah, they have a interesting squad. Interesting squad to put together that they have put together. Just look at what they had in there.
Yeah. To be fair, Sunderland have spent over 100 mil, so they spent to try to get in the best possible way to stay in the Premier League. And fair play. Whether it works or not, that remains to be seen.
Yeah. Did you check? Did you happen to see the game, or did you see the highlights?
Yeah, I saw, and to be honest, I'm not gonna lie. For West Ham, I feel sorry for Gerald Bowen. I really do. He was the only one putting the effort and making things happen. Paqueta, I don't know what's happened to him. I know probably the betting things took his toll, which I get it, but I think he needs to leave from West Ham, and the rest of the team just looked. I mean, Bowen, I think he's good enough for a top 4 club. Very good player, and I just feel that he should be. But Sunderland, they played well. Again, you get Sunderland a bit of aggression. I think 1 or 2 of the new signings they signed a lot of people. Names did well. And yeah, they were worthy of the win, to be honest. Worthy of the win.
Yes, I did misspeak. I said former. I was thinking Hendo was at Sunderland. I meant to say he's at Brentford. I understand that.
Yeah, I know.
But,
Yeah.
but all the same, 3-0 though was a big time. Was a big result for them. Big result for them, especially West Ham's going to have a tough season this year again. I think. I don't know what they're necessarily like.
Their manager's a joke, bro. You know what I mean? How's he getting a job anywhere? Like, he's that
Who's
type
that,
of guy, bro.
Mhm.
Potter.
I was thinking a reason why I know that the reason why I did say the reason why I said Hendo is because I know Henderson started at Sunderland. That's my bad.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, that's fine, isn't it?
Yeah,
Just, you
Brentford are
think of
going to go
Hendo.
down. Mm-hmm.
I think they're very strong. I agree with JK.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're very strong. I don't know. I don't get the thing of promoting Keith Andrews. I know he was on there. Like, I think it was a specialist coach or something. I just don't think that doesn't work. And the players that have gone, yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look good. And Frank as well, the main man. You know, the manager that really brought them all the success. Top of the star players, yeah. I agree, JK. It's going to be a long season for Brentford. I think their time may be up.
Yeah. I would like to shuffle back real quick to say that I did see a post in our chat that made me think of something. Just reminded me of something. It's in our little group chat. Pep Linders. Oh my goodness, that hurt seeing him on the sidelines.
Yeah.
Traitor. The name of his new book coming out. I didn't like it.
Yeah, I saw
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I saw that a new book. Hopefully, I'm hoping that his new book's called The Mole or something like that. And he and at the in the middle of the year or at the end of the year, he tells us all of Pep Guardiola's secrets. Then we could tell.
No.
Then I'll even be better.
Yeah.
Then I'll be like, all right, Pep, you gained my confidence. You gained my thumbs up for you. Well
No, his book's going to be called "Who's the Real Pep."
Who's the real Pep? Well, that's not really.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's not going to be much of one right there. He's never explained himself. He hasn't explained himself. He's just doing his show me the money, I think, to be honest with you. And he's just happy to have a job. So Spurs, speaking of someone that has a new job, Thomas Frank has a new job. Spurs, I think possibly one of the best additions, other than maybe Reijnders. Reijnders made a fantastic addition to City, but City is pretty much stacked already. One player that's made an exceptional addition has been Kudus. Kudus and Richarlison partnership against Burnley was a pretty dynamic partnership this past weekend. Spurs got a 3-0 win. It's got to be at least a little bit of a boost to their confidence, considering that I know it is Burnley, I get that, but considering that Burnley's not exactly a threat to really contend this year. But I tell you, Red Orange is a border. That's some of the best ones. He is definitely standing up right next to the other Pep. But still, the Spurs with Kudus, Richarlison had that goal by Richarlison was possibly a goal of the week contender. It definitely pains me to say that because I do not like the pigeon. But it was a pretty nice goal. What do you guys think of the Spurs game? What do you think about? What do you think, Thomas? I honestly, and I'll say this much too, Thomas Frank, if he is able to bring in Eze, I think that Spurs will be something that will contend this year. Not necessarily for the title, but certainly for Europe. I think that they will contend the entire year for to make it into Europe for us, or for Champions League at least. What'd you guys think of the game? Nalante, what'd you think?
Spurs Burnley.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously the Penguin has got his shooting boots back. Right. I mean, fair enough. Good finishes. Yeah, the Penguin. Got to give him credit, innit? Old
Mhm.
Penguin. Old
Mhm.
Penguin.
Penguin,
Two
Pigeon.
good finishes. Yeah, Pigeon. Yeah. Keep forgetting that's the one. Yes. Thank you, JK, for correcting me. Apologies. Old Pigeon. Give him credit. He's got a little bit of mojo. Don't know something Thomas Frank has done. Pigeon, but he ain't gonna work against us. That's for sure.
The
But
pigeon,
yes.
the rat,
Yeah.
the rat of the sky, I think they call it, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Innit?
Or
Oh my
nice to
days.
connect yourself with.
Like, I've not seen the highlights, but 3-0 at home. Burnley
Yeah, Kudus balled
just
out.
got
Tell
promoted. You
tell
know what I mean?
people. I know.
Yeah, kudos
Tell
to a little
people
signing for them.
he is, man. I wish he was at us, to be honest, man. He's a quality player, man. Like I said, man, and I know it's just one game, but he's been good from what I read. Obviously, I keep involved in my Ghanaian players and pre-season, and he bought yesterday. He was on the man.
Well,
It's a shame, man. It's a shame.
Kudus did have both assists. That's why I said the connection to.
Yeah.
Richarlison had 2 goals. He had a brace this weekend, and Kudus had both of his assists.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then the
He
other
was
goal
balling up
was
skills. That was Johnson, Brendan Johnson.
Ben Johnson.
Yeah, Brendan Johnson. Yeah.
Johnson, remember him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah, the drug cheat.
Canada. His
Yeah, no,
eyeballs were
yeah. I
too
remember
big
watching that
before him.
actually. Yeah,
Yeah, you
because
remember?
I was back in there. I was a Liverpool Christie fan. Oh, I loved it. I loved it.
I said Ben Johnson. I meant Brendan Johnson. Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry.
that's that was great. Do that cheat 12, that Canadian cheat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ben Johnson, his eyeballs were it's 5 seconds before him. That's why he got the world record, isn't it?
Liverpool Christie. Oh man, the tens of they're running. Oh God, hilarious. Oh
Yeah,
look,
Limpid was
Spurs.
cool though. I like Limpid.
Yeah, I've met him, man. He was my favorite athlete growing up, man. I love it. He lived with Chris. Honestly, I did. Yeah, proper into
Hi,
athletics
Dara.
when he was good at those times. I'll big up Dara.
Big
But
up, Dara.
what I would say is in the game is that Spurs. I can see they've changed tactic. They put a lot of crosses in the box. There's a little bit of a change. They're a little bit more direct at times. So you can see little good tactics and Kudus. Like I said, man. It's because we've got too many players, so we don't technically need him. But man, you know my opinion. You and JK know my opinion about Kudus. I know he's gone in because I am, but honestly, he would cook for us, man. And yeah, mate, he'll do well. Tottenham. He'll be one of the signings of the season for me. So Tottenham did what they had to do, and that's it really. So yeah.
Okay. I thought one of the biggest games to really emphasize two teams that are going to two teams that were in the early parts of this year, at least, or preseason, have been touted as being possible contenders for those Champion League spots, and that is Newcastle and Villa. And I will say this, being someone that does have Isak in his team currently, just let the guy go. Free Isak. They need to focus on who they're going to bring in, whether it's Visa, whether who's the other they have another player that they're talking about. The PSG player, Ramos, I think is the player.
Yeah. That's the one I mentioned today,
Yeah.
Whatever is going to be their plan to move forward with their attack, they have to figure it out. They have to. We've all seen how it's difficult for some of these players, especially the players that play in different leagues, to get up to the standards and levels that it takes to be in the Premier League. So the longer the wait, the more they're going to be, playing catch up. And then not only that, Gordon is not a striker. He is not. And for all those that wanted to compare Gordon to Lucho, shame on you. Because,
Because yesterday Isaac would have scored that goal when he ran through, and Gordon weren't really. He sort of hindered his run and sort of messed it up, and he could have scored if he carried on running properly. But Isaac would have scored that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Gordon, look, for me, he's a good player. I ain't gonna diss the guy. For me, he's a good player, but he's no way worth £100 million.
No, he's
No, bloody
he's a good diver. I mean, player. I said diver. Sorry. Keep
in the
thinking that.
Olympics.
Sorry about that. But all the same, it was I brought up that to Beige and Reds. They're doing their review, and I asked them what was their over/under on how many dives we should expect from Gordon against us. Because if anything, you know what? Was it a foul that he got in that Villa Newcastle game? I watched that game too. This weekend, I was up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, so I was able to watch all these like early morning games. I needed something to try to put me back to sleep. Watching Villa Newcastle definitely was certainly a recipe to do so. But Villa and Newcastle in that game, the Villa player got a red card for I guess he was close enough to the goal for it to be a red card. Okay, I guess that's going to have to be a new definition for whether you can get a red card or not. But it was interesting because like the player didn't pull him down, the player didn't tug at him. There's when you're defending and you're trying to get back on defense, sometimes, especially when a player's in front of you, it's called like in American football too, it's called a swim move, where you basically you try to get in front of the player and kind of like, you're running, but it's natural progression just to try to get in front and kind of like, I wouldn't say push and pull, but like just try to like, get control of the run, get control of narrating where the run goes to. And as soon as Gordon felt that guy go like this, barely touch his shoulder, you would have thought that there was a sniper at the top of Villa Park that had taken him out, because he went down as soon as he got touched on the chest. It was ridiculous. But all the same, it's a foul. He played it well. He knew what he was doing. And again, that's why I call him the master diver. So the next one I would say, and shout out to Lady B, big up. Tip of the hat to the lady in the house. Brighton, Fulham. This game was a game that Brighton, I think, lost more so than Fulham getting a result from, because or at least them getting a point from, because Brighton pretty much controlled the majority of this game, I thought. Fulham got the goal in stoppage time. Muniz was a super sub for them because he rescued them from with a point. They were on the verge of losing this game. But again, Brighton's at home, and you would think more of them to have done what they had to do. Baleba got a standing ovation. I don't know if that was because they thought that this might be the last time they get to see Baleba, but let me just put a little bit of ease to some of our our palpitations, I guess, thinking that Manchester United were possibly going to be bringing in Baleba. I never really thought that, considering that I always knew Brighton was going to ask for a lot of money, a pretty penny. I also don't think that Brighton think that he's nearly at the zenith of his worth, in the sense of, I think that if they hold on to him for another year, that he will probably even garner even more of a bigger price tag than they're trying to get currently. He's still very young, so he's got a long period of time to continue to develop. But yeah, I'm happy to see that they're not going to get him, and I'm also happy to hear that their crosstown rival is also not going to be negotiating for his talents either. There was some reports that City, once United started to have the initial conversations, City saw that there might be an opening, and considering their situation with Rodri and how they're still trying to get him back to full fitness, and how he might even move on to Real Madrid, which a lot of us are certainly hoping he does. Yeah, it was good to see and good to hear. But Brighton, Fulham, 1-1. That's the way it went. This player, at least, I spoke on Hendo earlier for Forest and Brentford game. I don't know if it's Chris Wood being brilliant, or if it's more just the case that because he's had a resurgence in his, not importance, but he's had a resurgence in his career. Considering he could be playing at Newcastle at this very moment right now, if Newcastle had played their cards right. But he is playing for Forest and scoring them goals. He got a brace this weekend. What were your thoughts about this game? About the Forest Brentford game? I know Wolfie's probably over the moon about it, but is Brentford in more of trouble than they're probably?
Yeah, bro. Look, you get rid of your best player, your manager. It's gonna be tricky. Cavallo started today. I think Wissa might leave, so it ain't looking great for them. You know what I mean? They need to get some signings in big time. It's a new manager as well, so God knows. 3-1 good result for Forest. High burnt at ADB as well in the start.
Thiago did get a goal for them. Late, but he did get a goal.
Yeah, penalty, yeah.
What is it about Brentford that do you think that Brentford's going to be in a relegation fight?
If you're judging it by the first game, yeah. So West Ham. But it's only one game, bro. You know what's going to happen. Give it about a month, 6 weeks. We'll sort of get a gist of what's going to happen. Well, sort of. A nice one, Hedo, with the stats about Wirtz and his work rate and stuff. Good to see.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, I got a friend to the show joining us. Hold on 1 second. I'm bringing in Dara. Just give me a thumbs up if you're ready, Dara. Or when you're ready. Just give me a thumbs up. All right. Oh. We got Dara. Nice kit. I like it.
Well, thank you. And hi to everyone on the panel and everyone in the chat. This is indeed an honor. I just got to ask you, 12th, are you on the spinach? Because you look great.
I'd like to think of myself as Popeye, but
that was a compliment, by the way.
I know. I'm taking it as a compliment, and I'm saying I appreciate it. I've been trying to. I do take green supplements. So yeah, so I have been trying to make sure that I get my nutritional values in, and I'm working my way back to full health for sure.
Excellent, and it shows. So keep it up.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I see you are a brave man. I see that you're outside today, which is brave. In Arizona summer, anytime anyone ventures outside, it's always something to behold. So
Well, we're having a cool down. It's only 102. Come on.
Right, exactly. So if you want to call it that, I guess, yeah. We were talking about some of the games from this weekend. We just got on about Brentford and Forest. What game out of the weekend did you find the most intriguing or the most interesting from the results and from the play? What game had you really talking, other than our own? What game that you have was on your radar as being something that you enjoyed watching?
Is that question for me?
Yes, Dara. Yes.
Yeah, I didn't watch many of the games. Yeah, I had to eat humble pie with that Richarlison goal. But there you go. I was impressed by Burnley, I've got to say.
Okay.
It was unfortunate that they capitulated. I watched the United Arsenal game today.
No, they're not. They've changed their name. They're no longer Arsenal. They're just SetPiece FC.
Oh, okay. Well, I was watching it on Peacock, so
or Stoke. They're Stoke, I guess. Right? Isn't that the going?
Yeah.
Going team?
Was it Forest Sunderland? Was it Forest? No. Forest. Who did Forest play?
Brentford.
Yeah.
Okay. Was that 3-1?
Yeah. That's the game we were just talking about, actually.
Yeah. I just I found the highlights of that game interesting, and I found the comments after the game very interesting. The comments were that Brentford were destroyed. Now, I mean, they may have been, but I only saw the highlights. But 3-1 is not a destruction. I would have liked to have seen the Chelsea game. So, yeah, I'm probably not that.
You wouldn't have.
It wasn't great.
No, you wouldn't have. That was another game I watched this morning, and that game was just absolute dreadful.
Like, for me, Dara, Palace should have won that game 1-0 with the free kick they scored, but VAR for some reason.
And what actually, and JK, it was some obscure reason. What was the reason?
They're saying Gay was pushing Casado, like, shoulder
It's a
by
new rule.
way.
Yeah,
What a
new
goal.
rule.
He didn't even fall down, bro. He didn't even fall down. If you fall down,
you're not allowed to be. You're also not allowed to be like a certain distance from the wall. You have to be like a certain distance. You can't like interact with the wall. So in essence, they were a part of the wall, and what Gahey did was he moved two players out of the way from the wall, which opened up a window for Eze to shoot into, and when he scored, that's why they took it away from him.
Right. So for me, I think it was more about certain players rather than teams, because it's way too early. So my response to you would be Gyökeres. I mean, he was non-existent. Reijnders, I know everyone's going on about, but one game. But it was good to see the way he was moving. I thought Sesko looked lively when he came on. It was just specific players that I was focusing on rather than the team as a whole. But in terms of our game, I thought that was interesting too. Your typical overreaction, in my opinion. But yeah, I don't think there were there was any team that really stood out. I know everyone's going on about City and beating Wolves, so on and so forth. But yeah, nothing major really for me.
Okay. Shout out to the Irishman joining us. Big up, Brian. How are you doing today?
Big up, bro.
Big up.
Yeah, good. Sorry.
Hi, Brian.
Tapas Pulis is apparently is what they're going on.
Okay.
Tapas Pulis apparently is but he looks good in that still kit, doesn't he? He looks good.
Definitely does. There you go.
He
Yeah.
choose it big time.
Yeah. He should start rocking the hat more often.
Very good.
Was there a
Very good.
game? I'll ask you the same question.
There he is.
There he is.
Sorry, just in case anyone missed it. There he is.
There he is.
Arteta, full on Tapas Pulis. That's what you want. That's what you want.
TP. I would have thought of something else for TP. But anyway,
Family show.
I know, exactly. What was the game that you had on your, not only on your radar, but more of like, what was the game that put up alarm bells for you this weekend? Obviously, we have one more game, Leeds and Everton tomorrow, but despite that, what was the game from this weekend's games that made you say, "Oh wow,"
Me?
you know?
Is this me? Is it?
Yes, Brian.
Oh yeah, Sunderland beating West Ham 3-0. Ooh.
That's what. Yeah, okay.
I mean, West Ham got to be careful here. You know, I'm not saying they're going to get relegated or anything, but Sunderland to keep a clean sheet. They bought a lot of players and stuff. A lot of new players, players from French leagues and all that. To beat West Ham 3-0, that really shouldn't. Like if we had a good game or a bad game, say look, first game, but that's genuinely worrying. You know, to as a West Ham fan, you know, as opposed to more of a Sunderland fan, say, look at us beating people 3-0. Maybe if I was a West Ham fan, I'm thinking we just got bet 3-0 by fucking Sunderland. Seriously,
yeah.
That would be a big alarm bell, a big alarm bell, definitely.
I think West Ham fans will be well used to that, and it wouldn't surprise me if they win 4-0 next week. That's just West Ham in a nutshell. But newly promoted teams traditionally do very well at the beginning of the season. And that's when I say beginning of the season, first 5 to 7 games. But I've been watching West Ham for years, going back to my Upton Park days, and they're consistently inconsistent. So, but no, I take your point, Brian, for sure.
If West Ham
if
wins,
you're just talking about it as a standout result, I mean that's Jesus.
Yeah, the West Ham. If West Ham wins 4-0 next week, that'll be impressive considering they'll be going up. They'll be hosting Chelsea actually, which Chelsea will definitely be looking for some redemption today after allowing for Crystal Palace to almost beat them actually, but end up with a 0-0 result. Didn't look like they had much going on for them, truthfully, other than maybe some debuts from their Brazilian players. That's about the only highlights of that, or maybe even making sure that the biggest banner in the bridge was their world champions banner that they had posted up. Yeah, paper tigers. Let me tell you that, paper tigers.
I did think Newcastle, they surprised me too. I thought they played at a level that I wasn't expecting.
As in, they played to a higher level, or they played to. I got you. Villa's not an easy place to go in and get a result from. So.
No, and with Gordon as your 9, yeah.
Yeah. Anyhow,
I like the pun. Anyhow,
yeah. There you go. I think that the biggest game I thought from the weekend, we had some interesting ones. Obviously Chelsea, the Chelsea Crystal Palace game being 0-0. That was somewhat to see no real offensive firepower at all, really, from Chelsea was surprising. Crystal Palace has a good defense as well. I understand that, but still,
not when Gahey goes.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Gahey had a solid game. I was going to say also, you mentioned the Villa Newcastle game 0-0 again. That was interesting. Obviously, the big name for the highlight or for the big name tag or name association to being with the game would have been obviously Manchester United versus Arsenal. But I really think the biggest game was City versus Wolves. I get that it was Wolves playing in a very emotional game, a game that I watched that game actually, and Wolves came out and were showing some real bite. Like, as in, it wasn't like I forget what player it was, but there one guy that just kept going off sides. He actually scored a goal. Actually, if he just kept on side, he would have been able. He didn't have to even go offside for the header that he scored. And then he had another attempt at goal that he probably should have scored off of as well. But City looked tough this year. City looked like a team that has some real cohesion. Do you think that City is going to be more of a contender against us for this title run than even Arsenal will be? Or is it going to be a three-headed race as well, again, like last year somewhat? I'll ask Nolante, and we'll just go around the horn here. Nolante first, though.
Oh yeah, I've already said 12. I think it'll be between us and City for the title, in my opinion. Arsenal again, I'm not really. I think the Ole seconds again will be Ole thirds again. So, but if they're there by February, end of February, March, then it might be a three-horse race. But I see it between back to the old days of us and City for the title.
You see it like being like City going on like another 7, like when they go on those like 9 games start the season off win streaks and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think so. I think I'll do you right. They've learned from certain things, and yeah, I just believe that. Yeah, they'll, like I said, they'll be back. I said it once we would finish for it. They'll be back. They'll be back. It'll be between us and C for the title, in my opinion.
Do you think, JK? Do you think that Foden has a real issue of maybe even not only just getting back into the starting lineup, but do you think that he maybe has? There's going to be some real question as to whether he'll be able to really be a factor, because there was I don't believe I have it. No, I don't have it in this episode, but I did read a report about Pep Guardiola, saying that he thinks his City have too big of a squad. He said it. He outright said that he has too big of a squad, and he doesn't like the fact that he's got to leave players off of the team sheet.
Said 3 months ago.
Okay. Well, he said it also 2 days ago.
Yeah, no, he said it 3 months ago. He said he would quit. He literally came out and he said about 2 or 3 months ago that I've told the board that I will walk away if they buy me too many players, because you cannot keep people happy if you have too many players. It's not possible.
That's exactly what he said.
And he's come out again and said it. Like, he literally said, I will. Someone almost asked him like a question, like almost like, why would you? Is there any reason why would you leave or quit or something like this? And he's like, I've told the board I will leave if they buy me too many players without selling players, because I can no longer leave world-class players or top players sitting in the stands at a weekend when I know they're good enough to play. He says, I've told the board I will walk away if you give me too many players. But But Slot doesn't rotate enough. Okay.
Okay. I don't know. All right.
You know,
Big
small squad.
difference. Big difference.
Can't deal with a small squad. Can't win anything with a small squad. Can't win anything with a small squad. Okay.
You can't.
I mean, he
You
did.
tell me.
Pep did
You
win. Yeah, Pep did. Pep did use all 5 of his subs that he did this weekend. And his starting lineup was Doku, Haaland.
I'm only
Bob.
winding you up, lad. Stop being so. Come on. Shut up. Come on. No, come on. Look, yeah, he's been saying this for years. He's a Bielsa disciple. If it was up to Bielsa, he'd only have 13 footballers. This guy's insane. Like,
okay,
that's if it was up to Bielsa, he'd like give me I don't want 18. I just want 13 players. He's a Bielsa disciple. They take it way too far. But
well,
yeah,
I was just going to emphasize that he had Doku, Haaland, Bob. In the front line, he had Silva, who was the captain of the team, by the way. So their version of Master Splinter captained their team. Then you had Gonzalez, Reijnders in the midfield. Then you had Aitnari on, as the left back. Diaz, Stones, and Lewis as your back line. And then you had Trafford as your goalkeeper. The subs he used was Nunez, O'Reilly, Marmoush, Cherky, and Chusanov, I believe that's how you pronounce it, right? And then, the unused subs.
Cherky isn't too bad not too bad of it, But Marmoush and Cherky, that's 2 handy little players to be able to bring on.
To bring off the bench, certainly. And that's what I was going to get at. And I'll move the question to you next, Brian. Is that Ortega, Aki, Akanji, and then you have Gundogan on the bench. That's also not counting, obviously, Rodri and Foden, who were left off. And even
that's what I was getting at.
Wasn't there, Savinho wasn't there. I said Kovacic, I think, right? Who else wasn't there? Kovacic, Foden, Bardiol, Savinho, Ederson, Echeverry, and I think that's it. No,
that's why I was only making a joke. I was only trying to whine people, But it was to do with your question about Foden. This is the thing, Foden won the Player of the Year the season before last. The next season completely disappears. Any other team in world football, Phil Foden is playing every week. He's been one. Some of these guys just need to get away from Pep Guardiola, man. Jack Grealish, Phil Foden, he turns it, literally Foden is I get it. You want to be at Man City, you're a Man City guy. But this coach literally made you the Player of the Year, 2 years, Premier League Player of the Year. And the second season, or the next season after that, he's like, oh no, I'm going to change things up and I'm going to do this and do that. And Foden barely plays. And they finished, third or something? I don't know, whatever it was. They didn't win the league, right? This guy, seriously, if I'm Foden's, I'm like, look, just go somewhere else and play. You do realize this isn't normal.
Did the Grealish thing go through, by the way? Did it go through?
I think it did. Grealish went there for 100 million quid, barely played. The next season, he played pretty much every game, won a treble with them. And then the season directly after that, he played 20 games or something. Started 20, something like that. Don't quote me on it, but you know what I mean? Guardiola he can't stop tinkering with stuff. Foden is in, he's out, he's in, he's out, he's in, he's out. If Foden was playing for Real Madrid or Barcelona or whoever it might be, he'd just play every week. Guardiola is just totally tinkering with this stuff. No wonder he doesn't want, he's saying, I have to leave Foden on the bench. It's wait, you don't have to, Pep. That's what I was going to show. It's you don't have to leave out
He's
Foden.
messing around with him, isn't he?
Yeah, you
can just play these. You could just kind of play him, You could just kind of play these. Foden won the
I'll take
Premier
Foden
League
tomorrow.
player of
What a
the
player.
season.
He's a top player.
Yeah, he won Premier League player, not Manchester City player, not young player, actual Premier League player season 2 years ago. And the season after that, doesn't get a look in. Can't get a look in. Why? Because of bloody fucking Pep Guardiola. I mean, yeah, it's just weird, man. It's just weird. It's so Grealish has gone off to Everton now. Never like Villa fans would be like, I
Right,
don't.
because that would have been eight. That would have been 8 players basically. Then that's another reason why I'm saying it that way too.
Yeah, this
I mean,
guy.
you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players out from either all out for injuries.
Savinho is probably going to go to Tottenham. He's when they're going to lose. Probably they were trying to sell. What's the guy that turned down the move to Forest? Rico Lewis. Rico Lewis was about to go to Forest. Apparently, he's turned that down now. He wants to stay at Man City.
Well, yeah, he got to start today too.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting. I mean, like they've got a big squad, but not only that, they have obviously some very good players that are already on that squad that are going to be able to make this a real. They've certainly the winter window really revamped City. I think more so than not, albeit that a lot of those players didn't really hit the ground running. However, having all that time to have adjusted to Pep's schemes and what he wants from them, and having a whole preseason to kind of orchestrate the system into them as well. It's going to be interesting. I don't know if for them to have been rumored to be trying to bring in Baleba, for instance, for them to have also been there was another player. Well, obviously they were interested in bringing in Ekitiké, I believe, right, at one point as well. It's interesting. I mean, like if Pep's telling his board one thing, the board's certainly apparently not listening. That's how I would see it. But there's certainly going to be a team that we're going to have to compete against this campaign. Do you think that, I'll ask real quick again, going around the panel, do you think that City is I know that Nolante said yes, he believes City is going to be our top contender or competition for this year. Do you think that City is going to be our top competition, Dara? Maybe Arsenal, maybe Forest, who knows?
I was impressed with the way Arsenal defended. They just don't have the strength and depth that City do. I mean, like I said, I watched the game today and I thought Martinelli, listen, mate, you wouldn't get a game for Gillingham. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Exactly.
And you're starting for them. I mean, that was just a joke. And when you don't have, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I do like Saka on the right. He's a quality player, but he was fairly anonymous. They're blunted very easily. And who do they have in the middle?
Dorcas, but yeah.
No. Who's their playmaker there?
Oh, you mean in the middle of their midfield?
Odegaard. Who's coming forward? Their Scandinavian wizard. Their captain.
Odegaard.
Yeah.
Odegaard, yeah.
And again, the same result. So they're very lopsided. I think City are more balanced, not just because of their first 11, but what they have on the bench. But it's just one game. But I was very impressed with Arsenal in terms of the way they defended. So I think it's going to be it's kind of 50-50.
It's a fan of 6-star.
Sorry?
It's easy to defend with 6 players, man.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Defend with 6 players. People are talking about how Arsenal had a better defensive record than us in the Premier League last year.
But they are away from home, so...
Yeah, but why did they have a better defensive record than us? We had one of the best... Yeah, because they had 2 sitting midfielders and never went anywhere, and they had 4 centre-halves playing in their back 4. That's why Arsenal have a better record than us. They don't play attacking football. Oh, Arsenal, no, they're much better at defending than Liverpool. Yeah, guess what? Of course you would be. We could sit back with 8 players, and
But
we'd
I'm
have a
not
great
comparing
defense.
them. I'm not comparing them to Liverpool. I'm
Yeah.
comparing them to
No,
City.
no, I'm just saying this Arsenal thing where they're really good at defending. Yeah, we could be that too if we just had 4 centre halves: Calafiori, Timber, Gabriel, and Martin, and the other dude, Saliba. 4
Calafiori
centre
was
halves,
Or
and
Calafiori
then
was
as your back 4.
Zubimendi. Zubimendi is
Calafiori
second.
Yeah,
was
and
hit
then two
hit and
2
miss.
DMs in front of that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
No,
we
Zubimendi.
could
I'm
really
just
good.
judging it based on what
Yeah.
12th is asking about this one
No,
game.
no, I'm just saying, like, all these people don't know how great, like, better Arsenal better defensive than Liverpool. Yeah, because he has
I'm
6
not
fucking
saying that.
defenders. No, I'm not saying you are. I'm just expanding on your point. I'm not trying to quote you at all. I think you should realize that, obviously. But I'm just saying, there's some people out there saying, "Oh, Arsenal are great at defending." It's like, yeah, because they have 6 defenders in every game. They have 4 centre halves and 2 DMs. If we played with 4 centre halves and 2 DMs, we'd probably have a great centre. We'd have a great defensive record.
I think we need Mr. Stiller for that, but yeah.
No, we don't need him at all. But what I'm saying is, if you want to play with 6 defensive players, you'll have a good defensive record. Arsenal, oh, they have a better defensive record than Liverpool. Yeah, because we don't play your shit defensive game. Tony Pulis FC. We want to attack. We want to take risks. We want to try and open up opportunities. Yeah, we could go super defensive if we wanted.
I will give him that. I will give Brian that point, or at least to back up what he's saying. At least, oops, I hit the wrong button here. Statistically today, Arsenal compared to obviously had the one big chance that they scored on, which was the set piece, but total shots: Manchester City 22, Arsenal 9.
City United, you mean?
Yeah, corner kicks was basically a wash. Was 4-3 Arsenal, but fouls, 15 fouls Arsenal, 10 fouls United. Passes, 476 passes for United, 296 passes for Arsenal.
Yeah, that's shit football. That's shit football.
Free kicks. We had 9, or not we, excuse me. We saw United have 19 free kicks, and Arsenal have 10. Arsenal had 4 yellow cards in this game to Manchester United's 1. There was another one big thing that I remember that they had, the 22. Oh, the shots on goal. I don't see that on here, but I remember that shots on goal were even lower. Like that total shots 9. I want to say they had like 3 shots on goal or something like that. Let me see if I can find that stat.
I think you should really judge Arsenal and other teams when they play home and away. We haven't seen Arsenal play home. And I think that's smart football. The most important stat is obviously how many points did United get. And, I think they did what they needed to do. So I get the fact that you can put 6 at the back and so on and so forth. But who really cares? At the end of the day.
I mean, but if it's all
Darren,
what I'm saying is, if you're a manager that over the course of 6-8 years has spent 6 years now, 5.5, 6 years at Arsenal, you spent about 800 million quid. You've never won a trophy, and your default now at a club like Arsenal is defensive football. You can dress that up any way you want.
No, I understand that.
6 years,
I understand that, but you're talking about 6 years. I'm talking about 95 minutes of football.
Yeah, and I'm also talking about both things at the same time, Dara. I'm also talking about that. I'm also talking about until one of them is symptomatic of the other. I'm not, so you can forget that. What I'm talking about is that is an exact symptom of what's happened over the last 6 years. What's wrong with what they're doing is what happened in that 90 minutes. And it's been happening for 6 years because they have a terrible manager. They have one of the most defensive managers in the Premier League. He doesn't have the confidence to go for it. He just wants to be locked down. He says, right, if we don't get beaten, we can't lose. That's Arteta.
Yeah.
Arteta thinks if we don't get beaten, we can't lose. That's the way, and that's what 800 million after 6 years gets you, and no trophies.
I will also say this today. I've been emphasizing the fact that the whatever power struggle has been going on within Arsenal, I know that they got Edu out, and it was that could be seen as obviously an Arteta win in the sense of the power struggle of being able to dictate what talent or what kind of talent he was going to be bringing into Arsenal. However, this year they did finally go out and get a big name striker as opposed to having Havertz as their main point person. But what was unique about this game, again, is you bring in, it's something I've been emphasizing about, Arteta's going to have to orchestrate some way of creating real substantial passing or substantial, being able to substantially get his striker fed. And today, their bane, Victor Gorkez, had 0 shots on goal. 0 shots, period, actually. He was 0 for 1 for dribble attempts. So then you say, oh, well, then Havertz, then certainly, you know, when Havertz came in, then maybe it's switched up. Havertz had 0 shots today. That is noticeable to when you have 2 players, to what Brian was saying, when you have 2 players that are supposed to be the spear, the point of your spear. If you're not going to get service or real, you know, attempts or opportunities out of Martinelli, like you just spoke on, Dara, or even if you're going to have a little bit of a subpar game or an average game, let's say not subpar, but I'll say an average game out of Saka, you expect to see at least you getting something out of your number 9, and they got absolutely nothing pretty much out of both Havertz and Gorkez. I think it's going to be an interesting narrative that develops over the season. This is only one game, like you spoke on, but it will be a very interesting narrative that to see how it builds.
So in answer to your question, it's 50-50. I really don't see anything between City and Arsenal. So it'd be nice if there's an anomaly. So we always talk about
so equal. You're saying it'll be a 3-dog race, basically. You're saying
correct.
Okay.
But it would be nice that there's some outlying factor, some team that comes in. We saw it last season with Chelsea coming strong, Newcastle as well. But based on just today, between City and Arsenal.
Asked how many times. I was asked how much service did they get. Kai Havertz had 18 touches. Gyökeres had 21 touches. Very interesting, though, is that when you look at Kai Havertz's heat map, I think it was like he was in the box maybe like one time or something like that, once or twice or something. Maybe that's interesting that your heat map for your striker is going to show him primarily outside defending more so than playing offense. That's what we're trying to emphasize. Or at least that's the point that I'm trying to emphasize. It's going to be very interesting. And I'm hoping it continues because I don't want to see Arsenal get better offensively. Shout out to Polo. Shout out to someone else has joined us too, by the way. I did say hello to Popstar already. I put together a little bit of 10 things we learned from our game, basically, from our win. It was a big win against Bournemouth because it showed a lot of different things. I'll give you my 10, and then you can tell me if you disagree on my 10 or if you would add to the 10 yourself. The panel do that too, and you can tell me that in the chat. These are my top 10 takeaways from the game. Not in any order, by the way. Champions win ugly. Liverpool found a way, even without being at their best, I think, in that game against Bournemouth. With the number 2, which was defensive frailties, 2 counterattack goals from Semenyo could be a warning sign for us to say that we have to emphasize our defense a little bit more this season. and definitely find out what's going wrong and correct it. Individual brilliance matters. Obviously, Salah was, I think, ghost for a good bit of the game, but yet Chiesa bailed us out, and you had Salah do his thing, as always, scoring on opening day. Ekitiké, far from off the mark. Dream debut, showed composure. I think that's very, very important that this striker that's going to have a lot of pressure on his shoulders is absolutely playing well. I'm just hoping that he can get into 90-minute fitness. Arne Slot's adaptability, excuse me. I don't think his substitutions really worked out the way that he wanted them to work out. Timing was crucial with them. However, I think that at least he was the bigger man to allow for Chiesa rather than, I don't know if Chiesa was a throwaway sub to be put into the match or not, or if it was a master stroke. But he was brilliant in bringing in bringing in Chiesa for Wirtz. My last was, or not last, but sixth was Wirtz's influence. I think he had a good debut, a solid debut. I think the only thing that was missing was that he's got to get the Premier League legs underneath him. He's already linking well with Salah. He's linking well with Cody. And I think that he has a natural connection with Ekitiké, which is necessary for a 10. 7 it was an emotional night. Look, every night that we're playing Anfield, whether it's on the road or not too, but every game is going to be emotional, but it's certainly going to be very emotional. I showed that clip about how in the locker room they still have the cubbyhole for the player cubbyhole for Jota in the locker room. So every time you walk in, you're going to be reminded of that living memorial in the locker room. It's going to be very difficult. Obviously, a lot of players are very emotional because of the circumstances. Chiesa redemption is my 8th point, his first Premier League goal, and what a time to score it. Shout out to my Italian stallion there. Chiesa, player that some of us have given up on or don't think is going to be given a fair shot by this coach. You know what? If you're not going to be given a fair shot, force your way into getting a fair shot. And every time Chiesa has come on or played, he's done bits. The transfer undercurrent is another thing. That's number 9. Fans still eyeing Isak, obviously, but Ekitiké is showing why we might not need to panic at the moment. If we get Isak, fantastic. But for right now, Ekitiké is definitely doing substantially well for us. And the last takeaway I have is title-winning vibes. Look, finding late goals is the hallmark of champions, and never saying die is the hallmark of champions as well. Like, as in never allowing for yourself to succumb to battling or allowing for a team to creep back into it and maybe take a lead or even equalize on us, and then allowing for that to take away our will and spirit. This team played with a lot of emotion, but primarily they also played with a lot of heart, and it was very, very telling for the club. I'll ask the panel this question. Chat, you can answer this too. I see Pop says we still need a striker. I got you. Speaking of Pop's, then, should Ekitiké's debut ease the pressure to push for Isak immediately? Do we have to go above and beyond to try to get him with some record-breaking 120, 130 million, or maybe even 150 million pound transfer price for the player? Or do we still need both? Or do we possibly allow for Ekitiké to continue to round into form? Dara, you seem like you want to answer this one. I'll let you start it off.
Well, actually, I just wanted to address your 10 points, and I cannot believe you did. Maybe I missed it. You didn't mention Gomez coming on and playing and actually not going off on a stretcher.
Oh, come on.
I mean, you're a big.
You're being good for a minute. I was like, okay.
No.
Okay.
Let me finish. I love Joe Gomez. I was absolutely delighted to see him come on and play. That was one of the highlights for me.
Right.
And I said before the season started, this could be a new signing for us. And I know he had that minor Achilles issue when we were in Hong Kong, and he comes back home. I was just over the moon, and just to see him play and do a job was fantastic. And you didn't even mention that. That's the only reason.
Well,
I know you're a big Joe Gomez fan, as I am.
Right.
That's the only reason.
I got you. We have Nalante on the panel, so any shouts for Joe Gomez, we can rest assured Nalante will be there for them. So
sorry. So I was being good. I just enough respect for Joe. I know his injury record, but yeah, I'm a big fan. So okay. I believe your question was, should we persist with Ekitiké if Isak comes along, or was that?
Well, should we persist with Isak if Ekitiké continues to develop the way he's developing?
Yeah, the bigger question is Arne Slot going to rotate? That's the thing. So do we even have that option? So it may be somewhat of a rhetorical question. I think it's, for me, rotation. The way Ekitiké is playing right now, from what I've seen, I see no reason to have. I mean, first of all, Isak has to integrate himself into the team. There's a lot that needs to be taken care of. He may not even come to us, but let's say hypothetically he does. Yeah, I think we persist with Ekitiké for now, for sure, and we take it from there. Isak, no, he doesn't come straight in because of name, because of goal scoring record, so on and so forth. No. How can you? How can you do that? I mean, there has to be another reason. For example, an injury to Ekitiké, just too many games. He needs a rest, that kind of thing. So for me, Ekitiké.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Nalante, are you with us?
Yeah, let JK go. Let JK go, and I'll chime in after.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
JK, you want to give your thoughts?
I love the start. Yeah. Like for me, bro, I love the start he's made. Promising. If we bring in Isaac, is it going to hinder him? You know, I'm thinking of these sort of things. But the amount of games we've got, need Isaac and Ekitiké up top. So there's a lot of ifs and buts. But for me, I'm so happy for the lad where he started. I don't mind playing him.
Okay. I'm gonna put in one of since we have Dara, I'll put a Dara poll into chat here.
Dara loves balls.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. I pause on that. Let's see. Hold on. Let me make sure. I think I spelled it right. Apologies if I got the spelling wrong. But I'm going to put a poll in here and see what you guys think.
Yeah, bless up Baz and Pops in the chat. CJ.
That's fine. All right. Who impressed you the most against Bournemouth? Ekitiké, Chiesa, Wirtz, or Semenyo? A. Ekitiké.
I'm going A as well, bro, because for me, Semenyo, you know what you're going to get from him. He's a good little player. He scored like in 2 games before, I think. At Anfield. He scored at Anfield before, I know that. Ekitiké, bro. Goal and assist first game at Anfield. Can't remember that. Wirtz for me, CJ. I think Wirtz, when you look at Wirtz's positioning, he puts himself in proper top positions. He's going to be a baller for us. Like for me, when you're
I said against Bournemouth, but yeah, I'm sorry. I'll make sure I put that in right.
It was Bournemouth.
Everyone's definitely clicked to make sure that I'm click to make sure that I am accurate on my wording. All good. Obviously,
I think Baz knocked the nail on the head there. They knew Kirker's weakness and played Semenyo, yeah.
Yeah, it works like a charm.
And then they did it to Endo. When Endo got brought in, they started attacking him.
Yeah.
there you go. Some had Semenyo being the as being the choice that they put in there for them. Let's see. Red Armchair Supporter had A, Baz had A, Mark A had A. Anyone but Wirtz was good, says CJ. Dustin has Semenyo. I got you. Pops was saying he was just being facetious. I got you. AR said Semenyo and Ekitiké. CJ said A, Ekitiké. Hugo's Zinco play was good. Red Armchair Supporter said A. Yeah, Lady B said Semenyo. No shots for Chiesa. Aw. I know it was limited work that he saw, but our number 14 had 14 minutes to make it happen, and he did it in 8. It's pretty decent.
Yep. And for me, CJ, Wirtz is like a wine. He has to mature, and he's going to taste great at the end. I don't drink wine, but that's what wine people tell me. You know what I mean?
Okay, I get it.
Jeez, bars.
I just dropped the
bottle
from
JK.
You gotta have patience with these type of players, bro.
Yeah. I know that someone was saying how Chiesa's goal was it Mark? I don't want to put it into the wrong person that said it. Maybe it was Trudon. I think I might have said it. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I remember. Yeah, I thought it was a top finish from Chiesa. It was a really quality volley. Like as in, obviously Bournemouth. They tried to clear it. It kind of like it went off. It ricocheted off of one of the other players and just happened to bounce. But there was just the smallest of slivers of windows for him to get that goal in, to get the shot off, and to properly place it in between 3 defenders virtually in front of him. I thought that was a fantastic volley. And some were saying that. I remember someone in the match reaction was saying we got lucky because it was a poor clearance or something like that. And I'm like, you make the most of what you're given. It's about what you make when you're given the opportunities. So he took it on the outside of the boot. He did. He placed it very well, I thought.
That's technique. He meant to do that. I can't see how anyone can tell me he mishit that ball. He knew where he was placing that. But again, you got CJ the troll once again. He done it on purpose. I forgot Chiesa's dead.
Okay, CJ, I got you.
I just had a quick question, if you don't mind. 12th. Just had a quick question for the panel and the chat. Do we think that when Slot made those subs, he was shutting up shop at 2-0 up?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
And what minute was that?
When he made his first.
He made the double substitution. He brought Endo on. Endo, no right back Endo.
60th minute. Because
60th minute. So how long was there to go? 35 minutes, yeah?
30 minutes.
Plus stoppage.
It's 36 minutes if you want to do technically.
Okay. So didn't we do what Brian was just saying earlier? put 6 men behind the ball. He's trying to play defensive. We've only played a third of the game, and we're 2-0 up. Do you do that? Especially when you don't have a recognized right back to slot in, excuse the pun. I mean, if you have a recognized right back, which we didn't, you're taking more of a risk.
I understand what you're getting at. I would allow for Brian to defend his own statement on his own.
Oh, I didn't realize he wasn't here.
Yeah, no worries. But I would say that, considering I do understand what Brian was saying, the way I think all of us kind of scratched our heads on the substitutions. It was the reason why I keep bringing up. I know that you get to watch the broadcast on this side of the pond, and I don't know if you saw the interview after when Arnie Slot was with Tim Howard, the two Robbies, and Rebecca Lowe.
No, I didn't. I was probably in a nice bath, my friend.
Okay, all right. You know, it's a little TMI, but okay. But all right, but in that interview, Tim Howard asked him about bringing in Endo and moving him. Why'd you bring in Endo in the 60th minute? Then in the let me double check and see when he actually brought in Gomez, and then he brought in Endo in the 60th minute, and then 12 minutes later, you bring in Gomez. And the result in both of those substitutions was bring in Endo, we get scored on. You move Endo to the midfield, you bring in Gomez, we still get scored on. And each time we did, we got scored on, I think, 4 minutes after those substitutions. So, he brought in Gomez in the 72nd minute with Jones. And I think something that JK and I have said continuously is that one of the major differences between this coach and the previous coach is the fact that if this was Klopp, we would have been trying to go for 3, 4, 5 goals in that game. But with this coach at 2-0, it seemed like he was already like, okay, cool, let's downshift and just coast kind of into the end of the game. And that's why I think he brought in Endo. That's why I think he saw that he couldn't get what he wanted out of Endo, because you're not going to get the same. No one in their right mind would say, we're going to have a scheme that involves Frimpong, and then we're going to substitute Endo and expect the same actions from our right back. And now you have, because you're not going to want Endo, bombing forward and like you're going to say, look, Endo, just chill, hang out back there, and I'll just do me up top, is what Salah's probably trying to say to him. But Endo was trying to involve himself in trying to continue to do what was the natural scheme. Like Pops just said, Endo was doing the Frimpong job. Look where he was on the goals. Yeah, he was doing what Frimpong was asked to do. And that's the major issue and problem. If you're going to bring in Endo, fantastic. If you're going to do what you just said, which is sit players back defensively, fantastic. Then if that's the way we're going to get to this win, okay, well, we can make it that way. However, if you're going to ask Endo to do what Frimpong is doing, then I think that's where you're going to misplay or mess up what we're trying to do. Gomez is at least remotely close to being able to do what Frimpong can do. And I'm not saying that he could do what Frimpong can do immediately, considering he's just coming back off injury. That's just my opinion, Dara.
No, I get that. But you can't coast at any moment in a Premier League game, let alone when there's over 30 minutes. And I know that's your word, and maybe you didn't mean to say that. But even if you had a top class right back that we didn't have to come in, what was the need for the change at that time? That's my point. And
because Frimpong was injured at that moment.
There was a suspicion about his hamstring, and if there was, I would have put Gomez there anyway, and not Endo.
He mentioned Arnie Slot said in the
I'm
interview,
talking about directly after the game. That's what I heard.
no.
So,
Oh, I'm trying to tell you that Arnie Slot in the interview that I was speaking on about earlier, in the post sideline interview with the group I just spoke on, Arnie Slot said that Frimpong felt his hamstring.
okay, then you put Gomez there. Okay,
that's the reason why he had to take him out.
Yeah, then you put Gomez there, who's more recognized as, well, as we know, he started as a left back for us. But is there an issue here with Slot asking Endo to play like Frimpong?
There is. I think that was one of the major reasons why I was bringing up my contention of why he put Endo in that position. But the reason why, this is Pops just said, the reason why he had to put Endo in instead of Gomez is because he had been told by the medical staff, this is again something he said in the interview, because that's the one thing I'll give Slot. He is incredibly honest with his answers. And he said that Gomez could only give at most 25 minutes. So that's the reason why in the 72nd minute is where you saw Gomez get introduced into the team, because that would have covered the 20 minutes to the 90 and then whatever amount of extra time that we're going to have on top of that. Luckily, it was only 6 minutes. So you get right into that window of how many max minutes he was advised by the medical staff to give Gomez, was 25 minutes. So that's why he couldn't bring him in. If he brought him at the 60th minute, you would have been asking for him to overextend and possibly go into like 35, 40 minutes when you're only told to give him 25.
Right. I would rather have seen Ibu go to right back and have Endo centre half.
No, if anything, you know what I thought that he should have done? This is going to be weird and sound strange. If you can't use Gomez, and if you're going to want Endo, or if you're going to want your right back to do what Frimpong was doing all game, which is bombing forward, then put Curtis Jones there. That sounds weird. I mean, you could tell me if you think different in the chat, by the way. JK,
we've tried that before and it's been disastrous, but I understand your point.
I don't know if it's been disastrous, but I
remember 2 games that he played at right back and he gave away 2 goals, but I mean, that's not exactly positive, but I would rather have seen maybe even Dom at right back.
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, Pop's saying Dom as well. Mark A is saying Dom as well. Said Dom did it during the preseason. That he did. I think that was also because of our limited choices selections.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, Trey Neone played center half for us. I don't think we're going to see too much of Trey Neone playing center half this year. But
I'm not saying I'm right or I'm wrong. These are just my opinions. So
I know. We're just having a conversation.
I mean that's, you can't ask anyone to do what Mo does, for example, and prior to Mo, Diaz. They are unique and chalk and cheese, really, Frimpong and Endo. So I mean, if that was what he was asked to do, then I'd be horrified.
I also, you gotta think as well. They weren't targeting our right side. They were targeting more our left side. So I think that's maybe why he thought he could get away with letting Endo go forward, as opposed to they're targeting our right side like teams normally have done for the past umpteen years with Trent back there. That'd be one thing, but I'm just giving.
I understand, but my whole point is, if you're making subs because you're shutting up shop, why are you even thinking about going forward? To the point that Endo is caught upfield.
I don't think Endo was shutting down. I don't think he was totally shutting it down. I think he was bringing in Endo because Frimpong was done. He didn't want a chance.
Okay, I'm just referring to what you were saying. I'm sorry, Nalante. When you were saying
that's all right, Dara. Okay.
He was doing the Frimpong role. So I misunderstood you. I thought you were saying he was doing the Frimpong role, and the Frimpong role in that game was not sitting back. He was going forward.
Yeah.
So if you're asking Endo to do that, yet you're making subs to shut up shop when you're 2-0 up, then that doesn't make sense to me. But regardless, we got the win.
I think that's the reason. I wouldn't say that Endo was him shutting up shop. I think him shutting up shop was him moving Endo to midfield, which is what he should have done in the beginning. He should have started Endo in the midfield, in my opinion, rather than have what we had as our starting midfield. If you're going to have McAllister, cool. Have McAllister and Endo start together, or have Dom and Endo start together so you can get some quality minutes out of McAllister. But I wouldn't have started. I think that Endo should have started in midfield, but he didn't. And the only reason why you saw him at right back was because of what happened to Frimpong. And then even at that moment, he rode playing Endo at right back for as long as he could, until where he could substitute Gomez in and be able to move Endo into the midfield, which is where we were getting beat as well anyway, because I don't think that McAllister is 90 minutes fit.
No. And I think Slot explained in his after the match when he asked about the whole thing, which he kind of alluded it with explaining. He's saying that Joey's only had one training session, so you only could give him a certain amount of minutes. So hence, obviously, otherwise you probably would have. I'm sure you would have put Joey on right back further than Endo. But I think again the bigger question. I'm sure 12 we spoke about it a bit offline, and Dara and for the chat is the midfield balance. Now, I hear the fact of Slot saying it last season and people saying about the Endo shutting shop kind of thing, and I don't like that, because let's be real, is everyone in the chat telling me, and again, this is all opinionated, you might disagree with me. Let's just say Grab is out for the season, hypothetically speaking, right? Is everyone telling me you want a 38-game midfield of Soboslai and McAllister? Or Soboslai and Curtis Jones as a pivot? Because again, and I said this last season when we were winning, but the only reason it got slanted over because we were Moments FC. We were getting the goals in, and then the defense was a little bit more better at times. Our midfield gets bypassed so many times, and it's not the first game of the season. This has happened last season when the players were burnt out. We get bypassed, one counter attack, 1, 2, 3, first pass. I remember the Chelsea game last season, and that was the first time I've seen that a little bit. So though we defended the defensive, we were solid. So Chelsea didn't create no chances, but sometimes we get bypassed. If it's over the top, a through ball, get bypassed so many times. It's unbelievable. And I hear people have a backlash about the DM, but look, our midfield is decent. It's solid. I mean, next season, if we get the big DM, that's fine. Like, and I don't like the fact of the Endo stopgap. And listen, I'm not Endo's bit. Listen, when we had the signings of 23-24, I never wanted Endo. And I keep saying to people to this, I never wanted Endo. 12 and JK, who's busy, they the one who gave me some insight. JK, again, is the German correspondent, all Bundesliga. And 12 knows his Japanese stuff. So they gave me some insight to Endo. So I was like, okay, not every player. And let's be fair. And no one in the panel or in the chat can tell me Endo hasn't done a job for us. He's played vital games at vital times, and he's done a job for us. So my question is the fact that are we going to continue with a midfield that gets overrun, or do you want to have some solidity? Because I keep hearing Slot plays a certain way, Endo's this, but if you're talking about McAllister, Slobodan, and Curtis Jones, Endo's the better in the defensive aspect. That's his job. That's what he does. He's not the better player. And we need stability and balance. If Grab is not in, Endo needs to come on. Otherwise, this is going to happen over and over again. Because look at the defense last night. They can't get away with it this season. There's only so much they can do. And look at Ibu. I mean, Ibu's another story. When his head's in the clouds. All right.
Yeah, no. Sorry, finish your thought. I didn't mean.
No. So I was just saying, if it was heads in the stories, the heads in the clouds, etc. VVD is VVD. We know he's, in my opinion, the greatest Premier League centre back of all time. But he's not getting any younger, and you can't bail out people. And then Kirkus, Frimpong / Bradley injury. it's going to take time to settle. So we need someone to just at least sit, just hold that. So there'll be continue. If Grav is not there, just play Endo. I don't like this fact of the 10, 15-minute closer. He's there to be used. Otherwise, it's going to be a sticky season. We can't be McAllister, Slobbo, Jones. If that's the midfield against Newcastle, believe me, we're going to get overrun. I promise you, we will be overrun. So,
what I was going to ask is, so there was someone as a content creator online, a fellow content creator for the Reds here that had a comment that I thought was maybe a hyperbolic comment, but the comment was this: we're not getting scored on in that game if Grav plays. Is Grav that much of a difference maker in that he is the make or break with our midfield being able to hold on to a 2-0 lead? I'll ask that. Dara's not with us at the moment, so.
He's here. Is it?
No. No. It's not Grav, because we would have still had the same issues. So the issues were, and I think Nalante articulated them very well. So I don't really want to expand on those. Grav will help. He will alleviate those issues. But no, he's not make or break, because when you have a right back that gets injured, okay, and I heard different versions of that, and I heard that Gomez had actually trained twice during the week, but regardless, and I do disagree with some of the comments in the chat, because I do think Ibu can play right back. I've seen him play it before, but regardless, it's not just that. You have no recognized right back to come in. You have Ibu, whose head is all over the place. VVD is not having a good game. Kirkes is not having a good game, for whatever reason it may be. And I don't think Robbo was that impressive either. So you're basically covering for 4 people. In certain games, if your back 4 is in line, in tune, and it's our preferred back 4, he will make a huge difference. But in scenarios like we had on Friday, no.
Okay. Nalante, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Darren's got very valuable. I kind of agree with Darren in that aspect. With Grab, it shouldn't be the be all end all. With Liverpool FC, we've got another DM to fill the position. You know what I mean? And yeah, certain games, one or two times, few games you can get away with a what's I gonna say, a slow ball, Mac and Jones, but not all the time. But the majority, if Grav is injured, just play Endo. And obviously, if Bashicic was fully fit, 100%, then yeah, he probably would be coming in place for Endo. But yeah, I think it's something, that we'll probably have to look at, because Newcastle, again, very not a force to go in that double pivot with Subbo and McAllister, because we'll get eaten for breakfast. We cannot.
Oh, Newcastle have a great midfield, Nalante.
Yeah, Dara, you know this, innit? Me and you both know.
Oh, of course.
Forget it. We ain't winning the game, and even that's minus Isak.
I
Yep.
hear what you're saying.
And I don't even want to say this with certainly with a certain Gordon scoring a goal against us. I don't want to say that on your show, but I did. I'm sorry, 12th, but no, it's going to be tough. We need to address it.
You think Gordon at the striker is going to score on us?
No, but with the midfield dominating, I don't think he will, and I hope he won't. But it's just that domination that they're going to exercise and they're going to show. So I've said my piece. So Gravenberch, yes, he has a part to play, but he's not the be all and end all.
That's interesting, because I know you're saying that that they should have that Newcastle's new midfield is in a better position than our own midfield. Maybe fitness-wise or form-wise, maybe that could be the case, considering that we're going to have to wait to get Grav back, which he will be able to be a part of that game. He'll be off suspension. Hopefully, with the extra amount of days, we can get a little bit more fitness put into McAllister, CJ, and Dom, or Cujo and Dom. They're great options to figure out who and which we want to bring off the bench. Obviously, we still would have Endo. I think that our midfield is a formidable midfield for Newcastle. I would just say, though, because against Villa, Newcastle wasn't like they had some. They did have a lot more shots, I know that much, but it wasn't like they didn't score any goals against Villa either. Their midfield was decent, but I think we'll hold our own against Newcastle. I'm hoping we will. I'm sure everyone else in the board and panel and in chat think the same. But I
just want to say bye, guys, before I shoot.
Okay,
Take care,
sure.
man.
Definitely.
Take care,
Big up, JK.
No, Auntie. Take care, bro.
Take care, JK.
Yeah, I can get what you're saying. I just think that we have enough. We'll have hopefully enough on the bench, and we'll certainly. I'm hoping that we'll have to. If we don't have to utilize our midfielders to play fullbacks or center halves for us against Newcastle, I think we'll have enough in the tank to go against them. That's my point. Do you disagree, panel?
How far off is Bradley from returning?
I do not know, actually. Let me find out. See if I can find out for you. Because I don't know if he was doubtful or if he was just straight out for the game. Bradley was listed as doubtful, so he might be available for Newcastle.
Yeah,
it'll be limited minutes. It's not minutes to start, and what'll suck is the bigger question is Frimpong going to be available? That's the bigger question.
And what about Elliot?
Elliot's available.
I still think it's going to be challenging.
Look at our midfield. Our midfield has Bajcetic is coming back. I'm not saying that he's going to be a part of the midfield or not, but Bajcetic's coming back. You'd have Endo. You'd have Curtis Jones. You'd have Elliot. You'd have technically Trey Neone as well as being a part of the midfield that you could utilize. And then obviously you have McAllister, Dom, Grav, and if you want to consider Wirtz part of the midfield or not, I'm not certain. But
yeah, the only thing I don't hear is a warrior in our midfield. And I think the physicality is going to be an issue with the emotion of what's going on over Isak and so on and so forth. It was kind of exposed last season. Do we have it? The skill? Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. If you've ever been to St. James's Park, that's a cauldron.
No, I know. It is. Our record there is pretty exceptional, though.
It is. It is. But our record against Newcastle last season wasn't that great. But yeah, I still think they have the edge. But I hope you're right, that we can hold our own. But I think the way we do that is, like I said, and that's the reason why I was asking about Connor Bradley. Do we have the defense that we need, so we don't have to take players that we can't afford to remove from our midfield to slot in again like we did have to do against Bournemouth?
I'll ask this trivia question for you then. When's the last time that Newcastle beat us? Home or away? If I can give you Newcastle too, but home or away, when's the last time they beat us?
Carabao Cup.
Oh, in the Premier League. In the Premier League.
Oh, it's been a while.
Yeah. I know, cup final. Funny. When's the last time they beat us in the Premier League? That's a trivia question for you. Do you know Latte? No. 2023, 2024 season, we beat them both times. And then we beat them, and then we drew against them 3-3. So it's not 2023, 2024 season. And we beat them twice in 2023, I think, was the year that that was the year that that was the year of Muniz when he scored against them at Newcastle.
Twice, I think.
Yeah, he scored against them twice, I think, as well. Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, he scored against them twice in that game. Yes, yeah. But what was the last time?
2021.
2021. Is that your guess?
Yes.
Okay, that would be incorrect. Incorrect. Okay, I'm just gonna give Nolante a shot. I'll give Pops, and I see. I know normally. Baz, 2022 is incorrect. 2022 is incorrect. We actually in 2022 we beat them twice, and then in 2021 we drew once and beat them once. So let's see if Pops gets an answer, if Nolante wants to venture. But Nolante's usually good at this too. I'm not sure if Nolante's with us at the moment.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Just in yeah, what was the question about the last time we beat Newcastle twice, was it?
No, when's the last time we lost to Newcastle?
In the league?
In the league, yeah. Mark A, that is incorrect. That is incorrect.
It's recently, isn't it? I know this is recently. Oh, it was it 2022?
That is incorrect. For your answer, wasn't 2013.
No. They've beaten us this century. Sure of it.
Yeah, 2013, we beat them 6-0 actually at Newcastle. That was a game. 6-0. They had a red card. We beat them 6-0. That was an ugly game. But it would be 2015, 10 years ago is the last time they beat us. The last time they beat us was in 2015, December 6th, 2015. It was a game that saw us lose 2-0. 2-0 in that game.
And that's home and away.
They beat us. I think they beat us at Anfield that game. Wait. No, they beat us at Newcastle that game too, 2015. Yeah, at the wrong button. 2015, December 6th, 2015, they beat us at St. James Park 2-0. And do you want to know who scored in that game? Or can you tell me who scored in that game? That's an interesting one.
Was it 2-0, yeah?
Yeah, 2-0. Can anyone tell me who scored in that game?
Genie.
Yep.
Yeah, Genie. Yeah. I remember. Yeah, Genie.
Yep, I was going to say all either future or current Liverpool players, or at that time current Liverpool players scored for us or for them, because Genie scored the second goal in the dying minutes, and before that they went up 1-0 with an own goal from Skirtle. They had an own goal we had an own goal for Skirtle.
Is Skirtle still available for that game? For the upcoming game, I'll take him.
Yeah. I'd rather have Agger, but yeah, I don't know.
Skirtle. Me too.
Oh yeah, Skirtle was a horrible defender. Oh, awful.
Yeah, that was the last time we beat them 10 years ago. That's pretty wild, to be honest with you. That's been I'm not sure any jinxes on that, because the time before that, I think when the last time they beat us before that too. Well, they had a decent record against us in the 2010s. They actually had a couple wins. But yeah, that was the last time they beat us, was when we did that. We started fresh, different personnel and managers. Okay, I got you. He scored the second versus City. I don't know who you're talking about now, but that's interesting. All right, people. I did have a little bit of something to say with another section, but it is getting late, I know, for some of those in the UK time zone. I know it's getting super late for JK in Germany, so I'm about to bring this to a close. I guess what I'll do is I'll say, look, my reflections on this weekend have been Sunderland's return. I don't know if it's a feel-good story for you or not, but it may be a sign of survival for a team that definitely has made some acquisitions in the effort to stay up in the Premier League. City's new identity. I know that they're more direct, they're urgent, they're definitely more ruthless with some of the players that they have, and they're going to be making a lot of changes to that team because that team is way, way top heavy. Newcastle and Villa lacking firepower. The East saga is bigger than Newcastle really want to let on. They need to figure something out if they're going to try to even remotely contend in Champions League, much less contend to hold on to a Champions League position, because there's no way that they're winning. I don't think it's a crazy shout to say there's no way they're winning Champions League this year. Fulham's Muniz. I'm not going to go as far as to say he's the best super sub in the league, because I know that we have one of our own, but he definitely saved them a point. Chelsea, I believe, is a paper tiger. Chelsea is a team that I think is going to do well, but they don't have much of a bite, much less a spark up front. They got to figure out what they're going to do with João Pedro. It's weird. They bring in João Pedro and Liam Delap at the same time when they do bring in their subs, rather than start one of those players outright. I just think Chelsea is, I don't know. I think Chelsea's just living off of their world quote-unquote championship. Forest punishing a Brentford team that is going to have to look out. Henderson, let me say this. You might have come back to this team, might have come back to Brentford thinking that you would make some waves. However, Brentford's going to have to figure out how they're going to get goals on the score sheet and how they're going to have to remain from possibly sinking much lower without Thomas Frank at the helm. And then finally, Arsenal's fragility. Look, I know that I think United gifted them a win this weekend. There's some real cracks offensively, whether it's the cracks you saw with Martinelli being their starter on the wing, or even the fact that their strikers, despite getting around 20 touches each, had 0 shots in the that says something. It's not like they don't have the opportunities to to get them the ball. But I just don't think that Arteta's scheme is that way. So it should be interesting how that works out for them, considering that we're going to have to face them early this year. It will be at Anfield, which is a positive for us, but obviously it's going to be something because we have the United, we have the derby against United early, we have Arsenal early. Our first 8 games are going to be a real tough run for us. We get through these 8 games with some W's, if not all W's, I think then we will be certainly breathing a little bit easier going into December. Last, I would say, is opening weekend gave us some goals, some controversy, gave us some bad refereeing. But look, Liverpool took care of business. There's a lot to unpack for our rivals. I'm sure that they'll try to pick holes in our team. I saw the likes of some of the trolls / rivals / content creators like Egal trying to say that we are suspect and that our defense is a bigger question mark than we're letting on. But look, at the end of the day, we still have that gold lion on our kit. We're still the champions, and I'm hoping that we can walk on to being back-to-back champions. Bournemouth exposed some of those cracks. I will admit that, but it's a matter of how this coach decides on fixing those cracks and fixing them fast. Look, I hope that you will answer or bring some of your comments to the comment section. I hope that you hit that like button so that we get to – it's always a sentiment that if we can have 50 likes, it means that we're doing something right. That's at least what YouTube looks at it as a starter. So please help us get to that level. Is there anything you wanted to discuss real quick? We have about 5 minutes left. I can extend for another 5 minutes or something. Anything you wanted to discuss real quick, Dara? Anything you wanted to bring up?
No, I just wanted to mention Egal has been talking nonsense for years, but there you go. Come on, just do your own stand-up show. I wanted to thank the chat and the panel, and the most important thing is keep up your rehab and your good work, my friend, because you're looking great.
Thank you.
So, yeah, and my parting words will be, I believe it's a week Monday, isn't it? We're playing not tomorrow, but a week tomorrow.
8 days. In 8 days.
Yeah. So I hope it's going to be a Moses first round knockout, and I think Nalante knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Indeed, are indeed. We shall discuss.
Okay. Anything you want to bring up, Nalante, real quick before we end the show?
Yeah, big up to everyone in the chat that's listening. Look, like, share, subscribe, get the numbers up, man. Like I said, man, as Dara said, health is wealth. You can see the health in 12's face, man. Let's push this boundaries. Let's push this show to places where it ain't gone before. Let's do this. And the other 2 points I'll just make quickly in regards to the Semedo chart stuff. Obviously, disgusting behavior. But I'm just going to keep it a buck. I'm just going to be 100%. Unfortunately, in every fan base, there's a small minority of racists, unfortunately. And that's the sad thing. And it will be in every fan base. It's a small minority. And I've seen it go into certain games and seeing other people. And when you've got another player of color or stuff like that, they're giving racist abuse the other one, and then they're supporting the other one without realizing. And yeah, obviously that idiot will never come back to the shores again. But obviously, all these racist, these small racist minorities in all fan bases, they don't speak for the majority, than 85% to 90% of population of football fans that support in different parts of the country.
Great seats, by the way. Yeah, great seats. I like, as in, you can't ask for much better seats than what he had, and it's not like it was. apparently, from what I was reading, I saw someone that follows me on Twitter posted something, and they were talking about the fact that they're in Bay 9 and he's in Bay 7, I guess, at Anfield. He was saying that he is a regular. He has season tickets. So it's not like this was like a one-off thing where this guy doesn't know how to conduct himself. He has apparently been a headache for the stewards and others in that section long before this. And, it's terrible that this is where it had to go and lead for him to be obviously dealt with. But, yeah, we don't need that representing us in any face or form of the matter. I can't emphasize enough. Each and every one of us represents Liverpool in any way, in every form. Whenever we go out and we talk, wear our colors and the likes, we represent not only ourselves, but we represent Liverpool in general, because people will see that and they'll say, "Oh, I'm a Liverpool fan. Oh, they're great lads, because of this or because of that." They'll connect it with their interactions with. I know it's anecdotal, but that's the way the people react. They'll connect how they view fan bases or even clubs from their interactions with those fans. And whether it's one fan or whether it's 1,000 fans, it still matters how we conduct ourselves. So, and it also means for us to call out those actions against people that aren't really representing us properly. And I think there's no problem or anything wrong with doing so. So again,
well said, 12th. Just two very quick points. Number one, thank you for inviting me on. I appreciate it. It was a pleasure. And that character, that individual, reminded me of Alf Garnett from Till Death Us Do Part. And if anyone ever knows that show, they'll know what I'm talking about.
It's true.
I think I've heard of that before. That's a program over in England, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I'll look it up to make sure that I'm remembering it right.
Yeah.
My memory's been a little off today. So
yeah, no worries. Well, you take care, and I'm going to go enjoy some air conditioning.
Yes, do that. Stay cool, and thank you for joining us today. Definitely.
No, thank you. Yeah, take care, Nalante. Goodbye, chat.
All right, chat. We're going to check you out tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be the Leeds versus Everton game. That game will be on as we broadcast live. So I'm not necessarily going to do a watch along for that Leeds Everton game, but I will have it on in the background, and we'll be able to commentate on it, or we'll be able to say whatever we need to say, because I will be watching it in the background at least, but it'll be live when we go live. So definitely, if you want, you can view it as a watch along if you like, and join us, and we can just talk football during the match, and just call it that. Just an opportunity to chop it up with your fellow Reds. And if you're not a Red, you're still welcome to join the conversation. We enjoy company, so definitely look forward to that. But until then, people, I wish you all the best. Wish you a great weekend. Even if the weekend is over and you're already into your Monday, I still wish you a great day. And until tomorrow, peace and love, my brothers and sisters. I'll see you soon. And always up the Reds.